Shalom, giving all praise to Yahweh by Shemal, Shai by Shemuk HaKodash. Shalom to the hopefully elect out there. And I have another lesson entitled More Proof That the Jays Are Not the People of the Lord. Well, you know what? I'm going to put in the title, I'm going to put Deuteronomy 28, verse 64, then the title. More proof that the Jays are not the people of the Lord. And this is going to be pretty basic. I'm just going to kind of, based on this scripture, I'm going to click on it. I'm going to go to the precepts, and I'm going to ask a couple of questions. It shouldn't be too long, this video, but let's see where the Spirit takes us. Because you have these people, we call them the J's. Some of you call them the small hats. E's, we call them the E's, the true E's. And basically, we say that we're the people. Or we do say that we're the people. We're the people. But there's a controversy with that, because if we are the people, and we are people of color, so-called black, brown, Mexican, Indian, Negro, West Indian, Haitian, whatever, Dominican, if we're saying that we're the people based upon the 12 tribe sign, which you have the actual biblical names of the different tribes, and then you have on the other side of the chart, you have the name that they're being called by, they're being labeled with, like Judah, so-called Negroes, or so-called Black Americans, Benjamin, the West Indians, Ephraim, Puerto Ricans, and so forth and so on. And so we put a claim in, going all the way back to the time of Abba, even before Abba, because you had Jakes before Abba, that certain, what was this guy? Cherry, somebody help me out, I forget his first name. And he was really the first to say that we are the Israelites, and he had a vision, a dream, which was a vision, that we are the people. Later on, you had others, Wentworth and Matthews, Rabbi Wentworth and Rabbi Matthews. I believe one of them that I mentioned was originally from, I believe, either Ethiopia or Nigeria, from actually Africa. And then you had one of them, if I'm not mistaken, Wentworth. I haven't gone through the history. I mean, if you go to it, go to Google, you put in commandment keepers, they'll give you the names. And I believe they even mention, as you read down, they'll eventually mention Abba Bivens, which we call, and a beloved, the beloved elder Bivens, which we teach that's Elijah coming back. Now, I heard that people are going around saying that Bishop Nathaniel is Elijah coming back. They don't come out and really teach it openly, but they do teach it among themselves. Now, if that's not the case, then please drop me a comment saying, "Oh, no, we don't teach that at all," and I will apologize if you say that, whether it is or not. I could have maybe, let's say I saw the spy in there, and I found out, yep, they are teaching the spy Toby, which we don't have spies in there, so don't look around like we got spies in there. We're not going to get petty like that. But if I find out otherwise, that I got a guy in there, so even if I know and I heard you say it, I got people in there that heard you say it, even if you say no, he's not, I'll respect that, right? But that's what I heard. So, with that being said, let's get back into Abba. We believe Abba is Elijah, the fulfillment of Malachi. What is that? Malachi 4, verse 5 and 6. And he's also John the Baptist. So he came back as John the Baptist. He came back as what we affectionately call Elder Abba. and there were men that there were a bunch of people that came up under him. Um, from what I heard from people that were back there, now they're long dead, a lot of them, that his congregation was so huge that he was well taken care of. Like that was just like his full time job, so to speak. He was like an actual straight up pastor. And when he had died, you know the host. That's a whole nother video. The men that were closest to him was Marsha Aria and Yaikwab, and they became the leaders of that school. But a lot of people had problems with it because they said, "Well, you guys came up with us, so why are we going to follow you?" You know how Jake gets down. So they started small, and it was slowly built up, and now we have the major controversial Hebrew Israelite school, One West, where you have the former One West is because of the splits. And the splits are all spiritual any daggone way. This makes it even bigger. This is where we all stem from. So, you know, we've been teaching this, I've been teaching it. The men over us, the top three, then the top seven. And then there was a bunch of splits. So us guys that came up in the rankings, we became teachers. We became the head guys, the apostles, the bishops, the generals. You know, like you have General Yohana, you have Bishop Nathaniel, you have myself, you have other apostles with me, you have deacons or elders or bishops or other generals and then you got break off from the break-offs, like Sakari. Just to name one. Just to name one. You have the HOI, which is a priest of Bach, and you have he's still out there. And one thing I give him props for, he's always out there on the streets. He's been out there for years, and he been kicking it live for years, nonstop. So you got to give him props. Um, you have LOI the head, which is uh, priest Daniel, and I remember him, you know, way back. He even looked different. You know, he was a kid back. He was actually a kid back there. So you see him as a kid, then you see him now. He's a grown man. He didn't have a deep voice, necessarily a deep voice back there, but he looked way different. So he's one of the people that has a group that teaches the AOC, and you got many others. You got the HODC. And I mentioned most of the groups, and then you got the splinter groups. But anyway, give me a second. Give me a second. Forgive me for that. Forgive me. Anyway, we put a claim in when we go out on the highways and the byways, which is the fulfillment of Ezekiel 37, a very important chapter. Also, Revelation 11, another important chapter. And the fulfillment of those two chapters is us going out on the highways and the byways. And what really opened this thing up was the internet, the web, namely YouTube. And this is the thing that really pushed this thing out there. That's why you got camps literally all over the world. So now the scriptures say this, and this is the key precept, which is part of the title, Deuteronomy 28:64. In a very important scripture, a very important passage, a very important precept. And it says, and Yahweh, and this precept right here, this verse is part of the curses. And Yahweh shall scatter thee among all people from the one end of the earth even unto the other. So how big is the earth? You have the utmost east, which you have the far east, you have the Middle East, like China, Japan, the eastern part of China, Japan, Korea, those various islands, Thailand. If you go to the map and you go to the far east, a lot of what mixed people are out there. The Chinese, Japanese, Vietnamese, but they all have this somewhat slanty eyes. They have a certain look to them, a distinctive look to them. You got the Thai people, which kind of look like Moab, but they're dark. I seen Thai people that was darker than Gabar, or just as dark as Gabar, or even darker. I mean, dark brown. And those are some of our people over there. So let me read this again. It says, and Yahweh shall scatter thee among all people. Literally, wherever there's a people on the planet Earth, you have Israelites scattered among them. So you're going to have Israelites, like we say that we believe Bruce Lee is an Israelite. You got certain groups, well, we all crazy and an Israelite. Well, if you deny it, only time will tell. If you deny it, that means you deny this precept right here. You're going to have Israelites looking like Hamites. You're going to have Israelites looking like Elamites. You're going to have Israelites looking like so-called white people. So a certain percentage of those J's, the small hats, are in fact Israelites. And we got to tell them that. We say, if they say, well, some of us, I say, yeah, some of you. I don't know what the percentage is. It could be 5%, it could be 50%, it could be 15%. Give me a second here. Like I said, it could be 5%, it could be 15%. But the question is this. Let me see. And Yahweh shall scatter thee among all people, meaning literally everywhere. Give me one more second. I just dropped some. Forgive me again. And Yahweh shall scatter thee among all people from the one end of heaven even to the other. From the uttermost east, which is the far east, to the uttermost west, which would be California, Washington, up into Canada, literally all over the world. And we're going to literally look, we mix our seed with every person that we deal with. So you look at somebody that looks like an Edomite, he might be an Israelite. If he looks like an Edomite and he can dance like a Jake, he can keep it with a Jake. There's certain things that he does or she does. That's something that a Jake would do. That person, whether he or she has blonde hair, blue eye, pasty, red skin, white skin, or whatever, that's an Israelite. And the seed is based upon your father. So you just can't jump the gun. Hey, like Priest Alazar, he says his mother is an Edomite, but she's Irish. Now she could be a Jake. Yeah, she's an Edomite, she's a devil, or whatever. He told Polite that, yeah, you can kill my mother because she's a devil anyway. But she might be a Jake because she's Irish. So you can understand. Scriptures speak about judging the outward appearance. The Most High does not judge based upon your outward appearance. So it says, and Yahweh shall scatter thee among all people from the one end of heaven even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods. What does it mean, thou shalt serve other gods? Does that mean that we know that we're Israelites and we keep the laws and statutes and commandments, but we serve other gods because this man has a gun to our head? No. It means that we serve other gods in the form of different religions is because we lost who we were in the beginning. Now, Vocab Malone says, he said this more than once. He said the original Hebrews never lost their nationality or who they are. Well, how do you explain this? How do you explain this? And there shalt thou serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. So the wood and stone represents the buildings. Buildings, whether they're mosques, whether they're temples, whether they're churches, all buildings are made out of different materials. Stone is metal. Metal comes from the ground. Wood comes from the ground. So when it says even wood and stone, it's talking about the buildings, the edifice, the buildings, the houses that have been constructed, built up for you to go in and to worship, whether it be a mosque, a temple, a church, a cathedral. So that means right there that we lost who we were. And I'm not going to read the 65th verse, but it kind of goes with the 64th verse, but I'm going to stay on the 64th verse. Like I said, I'm not going to make this really long. So give me a second here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the word scattered or scatter. The word is pawataza, to scatter, be dispersed, be scattered, to be dispersed, to be scattered, spread abroad, scattered, to flow, overflow, scattered, to dash in pieces. I just want to check some of these precepts. I'm going by the Spirit. I haven't check any of these precepts. I'm just going by the Spirit. I want to pass. Okay, so we just finished reading this. The third verse, Deuteronomy 30, verse 3. That then Yahweh thy power will turn thy captivity, meaning he'll turn you back from captivity. We're in captivity to this day. We just don't have physical chains on us, or we don't have a yoke of iron on our neck, but we do have paper yokes on us by a series of adhesion contracts, birth certificate, social security number, driver's license. That's it. That's a contract. Any job that you go on, anything that you do, officially, there's paperwork. You got to fill out question and answer. You know, where do you live? Where you what's your work history? High school, from kindergarten, first grade to high school, you're doing tests. So these are all adhesion contracts because you learn how to write things to sign them contracts. It says then Yahweh thy power will turn thy captivity. So our captivity is not a hardcore captivity where we have old beat up clothes on us and we're out in the field. And if you do something wrong and the master don't like it, he can whip you. He can have a public whipping, or he can shackle you up. You know, or well, I mean, they do shackle you up when you go in the so-called prison system. They put you on that bus, and they got you shackled to the bus. I've been in the system, so they when they take you anywhere from the precinct to the detention center, you're shackled up. Then they'll give you orange shoes. If you go upstate, they give you an orange suit. Because if you escape, they know. Look at that dude running with the orange suit. He just escaped. But for the most part, the shackles that are on us, the captivity is a paper captivity, which is sometimes even worse than actual captivity, because with paper captivity, by signing different contracts, you believe that you're free. And see, Esau believes he's free. See, what Esau doesn't understand is he's in slavery too. It's now only the elites, the super elites. That's why. Oh, they're going to come up with a new system of shackling you down. They're going to go from signing contracts to actually having something in you. And you know what I'm talking about. That's the fulfillment of Revelation 13. And when it comes to pass, there's going to be a major shakeup in these different camps. Deuteronomy 30, verse 3, that then Yahweh thy power will turn thy captivity. And he's doing it right now. He's freeing our mind. Like this guy said in the tune, he said it's simple. Free your mind and your ass will follow. Well, that's what we're doing. We're freeing our mind, and the Most High, once our mind is freed, enough of us are freed, our minds are open to the truth. We're sealed in a spiritual sense. That's when the Most High is going to come get us. And the ones of you that take this charagma, ultimately, which we here at Great Millstone been talking about, if you take it, the Most High cannot save you even if he wanted to. Because guess what? The Most High is bound by his prophecies. He said he's going to destroy Babylon in a certain way, and he can't change it because all the prophets that saw the visions of this destruction, that would all be a lie. That would make the Most High not the Most High. You understand? He gave this prophecy of the destruction of Armageddon to the major prophets and even the so-called minor prophets. They all had this vision. Daniel had it, Isaiah had it, and they had it more than once. Joel saw us going on cargo slave ships. He saw us on auctioning blocks. He saw us working in the field. So it is going to happen. It says that then Yahweh thy power will turn thy captivity and have compassion. See, he's beginning to have compassion on us, upon thee, and will return and gather thee. This is the great gathering. This is why these small hats are so, they all shooken up. They're not sleeping good. Guarantee you they're not sleeping good. And the reason why the ADL didn't come after the IUIC or any other group, and they plan to anyway, they went after the celebrities because celebrities have influence. If Ye says something like that, a lot of people, Ye went to these wacky tacky, dumbass, boneheaded, hammerhead Christians, and they all worshiped him like he was a god. But now he's an Israelite. So why don't you follow? You know what I'm saying? Well, you first of all, when this is a couple of years ago, Kanye got with a Christian group, and the people, oh my goodness, it's Kanye West. He's a Christian. Oh, great, we're gonna follow him now. I mean, they were literally following this guy. Go to YouTube and put in Christians following Kanye or whatever. This is like 4 years ago, before the Great Plague. And then he would be out on the beach and he'd be singing, and you got the people in the hammerhead Christians out there clapping their hands, whatever. When he changes the song, when he stops, they stop with him. So wait a minute. If he's the great Messiah, your great Messiah, your great Messiah is now an Israelite. So guess what? You should say, okay, I'm an Israelite now. You Edomites out there should say, yes, we're going to follow Kanye, whatever the hell he says. He says that the black people are Israelites, then damn it, they're Israelites. Anyway, let me read this again. It says that then Yahweh thy power will turn thy captivity and have compassion upon thee, and will return and gather thee from all the nations, whither Yahweh thy power has scattered thee. So now you got vocab saying there's never been a time where these people never knew their nationality. Well, wait a minute. If you go back, they said they're going to serve other gods wood and stone. So that means it's obvious that they forgot who they are. So now my question is this. My question is this. If the Jays are the actual people, you can go anywhere on the planet Earth, and you'll go, let's say, to Nigeria. Let's say Egypt. You're gonna see a bunch of pasty Edomites wearing all black or whatever. Because remember, they didn't forget who they were. So they wear the Orthodox Jays, they wear the black. I know, I work with them. I worked with them many a times. I've been working with them for years in different jobs. If you go to Ethiopia, you can search Ethiopia high and low. You ain't gonna find a community of small hats. Go to Nigeria, you ain't gonna find a community of small hats. Now, you may find a community in certain areas of the world, maybe in Europe, maybe here in America, but according to the prophecy, according to Deuteronomy 28, verse 64, they would have to be mingled among everybody. They have to look the same because they, like Vocab said, they never lost their religion. They never lost their religion. Anywhere you go, if you go to China, you're going to see some pasty Jays. You go to Vietnam, you're going to see some pasty Jays. You go anywhere on the planet Earth, you're going to see some pasty Jays. No, you're not going to see no pasty Jays. You ain't going to see no community of no Jays. You know what you're going to see? You're going to see people out there, and some of them are actually Israelites. that look like those people. I'll give you a couple more. Here it is again. Nehemiah 1 verse 8, remember, I beseech thee, the word that thou commandest thy, thy servant Moses, saying, if ye transgress, I will scatter you abroad among the nations. Okay, Isaiah 11 is not here. It should be here. But the word there is dispersed, which means scattered. Like right here, Proverbs 5:16, let thy fountains be dispersed abroad and rivers of waters in the streets. And that represents us teaching. The various men out there on the highways and the byways, on the web, on the YouTube. Here it is again. I will scatter them also among the heathen. Heathen meaning the other nations. So we're going to look like the other nations, whom neither they nor their fathers have known. And I will send a sword after them till I have consumed them. Okay, this is a classic. Ezekiel 11, verse 16. Therefore say, thus saith Yahweh, the Most High, although I have cast them far off. What is saying Deuteronomy 28, 64? It said from the uttermost, from one side of earth to the other side of earth. Far off among the what? The other nations. And although I have scattered them among the countries, yet will I be to them as a little sanctuary in the countries where they have come. So you have Israelite groups, one Westers scattered throughout all the planet Earth that watch this on YouTube. '17 verse, I got to read that. Therefore, therefore say, thus saith Yahweh, the Most High, I will even gather you from the people and assemble you out of the countries. This is what's happening now, where ye have been scattered, and I will give you the land of Yasha'Allah. In 1948, you didn't have people come from all over the world. You had people coming from various places in Europe, mainly Germany, Poland. Ain't nobody came from China. Ain't nobody came from Mongolia. Ain't nobody came from Thailand. Ain't none of them Jays come from Thailand or Korea or China or Nigeria. It was Europeans that came out of Europe. And that was after World War II. I lifted up my hand unto them also in the wilderness, that I would scatter them among the heathen, there it goes again, and disperse them through the what? The countries. If these Jays were the actual people, there would be a community of them pasty J's anywhere you go on the planet Earth. That's not the case. That's not the case. Here it is again, Ezekiel 22, verse 15. And I will scatter thee among the heathen and disperse thee in the countries and will consume thy filthiness out of thee. So that's all I wanted to say. Like I said, I don't want to make this a long, drawn out, video. All you got to, sometimes you go to one scripture, you click on it, go to the word that you're dealing with, the word scatter or scattered, and just check out the precepts. You got hundreds of precepts, man. And this proves that you can't just look at somebody and say he's not an Israelite. You got to mark him from the Greek scopeo. You got to scope him out. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom. On to the next one. Shalom.